Okay, team, hello and welcome to a little bit of a different monthly mindset meeting. Normally, I jump on here, share a couple of insights that help you, for the month ahead. However, tonight we're doing things a little bit different. I wanted to go through a mindset training, okay, how to get unstuck because, especially very relevant post-bank holiday. Typically we can feel on the back foot a little bit slower, and just generally, we can notice that trend of just feeling a bit stuck at times. And no matter what phase you are in, of your coaching journey, whether you've just started in phase established, whether you're in phase lean, looking to get into the best shape of your life and finish your weight loss journey, or whether you're in phase sustain and we're tackling performance goals and stepping away for it, there's going to be times in your journey, when you get stuck, when you just feel like, you just can't get going, right? And the progress is slow, it's limited, and you just, yeah, spinning your wheels in the mud. So this training, I want to kind of discuss how you get unstuck, why it's important, and also share a real life case study from Emma. Most of you will know her. She's been part of the lean field lifestyle for a couple of years now. The journey has been absolutely incredible, and yeah, it should be really insightful to share with you a bit about this and just how it kind of works. So yeah, why I need you to hear this because your fitness journey is a roller coaster. There's going to be more lows than there are highs. And this is just part and parcel of your journey and just life, like external factors like family and life stresses, get in the way, mental challenges, work problems. There are so many things at different points in your journey that you're going to have to contest with. And, they're going to cause friction, they're going to put barriers up, and they're going to leave you feeling stuck. So that's why I need you to hear this. Like, your journey is a roller coaster. There are highs, but there are lots of lows. And that's just because of all these external factors and pressures. And, the amount of times that, I'll see a client go through a great period, they make loads of progress, they're firing on all cylinders, they're feeling great, they're feeling aligned, they're making progress. And then, life happens and they go through a bit of a tough patch. And I want you to know it's normal. And when I delve into kind of Emma's journey and what she's been through as well, hopefully you'll be able to see that and know that like you're not alone. You're going to go through more lows than highs, and that's just the nature of life. So it's really important that you hear this because if you don't learn how to pull yourself out of these lows, eventually they will just take over. They'll dominate your mindset and they'll just derail you. You'll either throw the towel in or you'll just be stuck and you just won't make the progress that you want deep down and that you absolutely deserve. And the longer that you don't make the progress that you want, the more kind of evidence that you create that maybe I can't do this. But when you're in a good place and you're seeing progress, you believe it, right? Seeing is believing. We need to create evidence that we can do it. So, it's okay to be in a bad place. We all get in that, but we have to learn to pull ourselves out because otherwise you're going to get into that old mindset of, you know, I can't progress. I can't achieve my goal. This is in the way. This happens. And, you can fall into that old way of thinking. So that's why I need you to hear this. That's why it's so important because there's going to be more lows than highs. So you have to learn how to pull yourself out from it. So let's talk about Emma then. I think, a real life case study from someone obviously inside the lean field lifestyle. It kind of makes this easy to refer to and also more relatable because it's all right me banging on about these things, but to actually know that it's happened to someone, who's going through the same process as you, it just there's more meaning there and it allows you to feel relatable as well. So yeah, Emma, you're the case study. Let's go through it. And Emma's journey's been incredible. Like the first I would say, yeah, 6 to 9 months, like incredible progress. Emma was just firing. We're talking about a longer term weight loss journey. So we know the challenges that come with that. It's can get monotonous, it can be tiring, it can feel like it's never ending. So yeah, it's tough at times, but we had a really good 6 to 9 months, absolutely flying, feeling great. But then we found like Emma found herself seriously stuck. Like she started the coaching process, she talked about how life changing it's been, feeling amazing, absolutely loving it and fantastic. And then we just kind of hit this yeah, just seriously stuck, a really tough time. And, after such a positive period, one thing led to another, life, health, work challenges, you name it, just everything kind of all at once, kind of like one thing after the other. Something happened, she got over it, and then this happened, and it was just a series of unfortunate events. And, life got in the way, if that's how you want to call it. And, we had a period of like 6 to 9 months of like little to no weight loss progress. And, for someone that had done so well, made so much progress, like talked about how much a mindset's changed, how much a relationship has developed, and like all of these positive things, yet she hit this period of just like of nothing, just feeling stuck, little progress. And, it's in this period where most adults just give up, but not Emma. And, I'm going to talk a little bit more about later why this is and again, how you can adopt this mindset. So, yeah, a few things happened. And, sure enough, we got the breakthrough. Throughout that period, Emma never gave up. She communicated her feelings. I mean, she probably sent me a pissy message or voice note most weeks. But you know what? It was amazing because she communicated. She let me know what she was going through, how she was feeling. There wasn't many times that she went quiet. She buried her head in the sand and she just got in her own head. She just was very quick to vocalize, to communicate through tough times. Sharing vulnerable and open and honest things. But that communication was so powerful because it allowed us to kind of, help me to help her, gain perspective, to give her things to try and work on. And yeah, she just kept trying her best. And we kind of worked through a lot of the challenges together. And, there's a few things that we did and we got that breakthrough. And as you can see from, I don't know if you can see my mouse now, but great progress, feeling amazing, actually regressed a fair bit, a little bit of progress in the middle there, regressed again, and then just couldn't get going, just banging head against a wall, life getting in the way, and just felt stuck. And then something changed, and then boom. I mean, we saw a drastic, drastic breakthrough. And she's continued and still to this day absolutely flying and making progress, which is great. Still challenges. We've had a little bit of a tougher time this year, but nothing that we haven't been through before. So it just shows like these things are normal, and your commitment to your long-term goal is key, which we'll talk about. But yeah, now Emma has gone from, not believing she could be the girl that is not overweight, that looks like she goes to the gym, is fit, is healthy. She believes she would never be that person, yet here she is. Over 50 pounds down now, drastically improving her relationship with herself. We did the fitness photo shoot. She started running. She used to avoid the gym. She was terrified. Now she's like training 3, 4, 5 times a week, which she just can't believe. Like she's actually excited to work out and exercise. And yeah, it's crazy when you see like you won't be able to fully appreciate it because you haven't been in mine or Emma's shoes, but like what she went through in that 6 to 9 months, she was seriously stuck. Like you think you've had it hard, Emma had it so hard. Like it was brutal, but here she is. Everything is just flowing. She's going from strength to strength, and it's been incredible. And it just shows like you can feel stuck, you can be completely lost, in the worst place, and just even in times that aren't that bad, but you just feel stuck. You want more progress, nothing's happening. You feel like you're putting the effort in, but you keep sabotaging and things get in the way. But you can get the breakthrough, and that's what I want this training to be about. So whenever you feel stuck, you can watch this training, follow the checklist that I'm going to give you at the end, and just move forward. So the first thing that is so essential is your ability to gain perspective. I talk about this all the time, but it's your ability to kind of have that emotional intelligence to just see the bigger picture. There is no time like now, living in the present. And if when you're going through a tough time, you know, we see a way out and we just think, give up, right? And I fail. Throw the towel in, right? You're just creating evidence that you failed. And from an identity standpoint, that's just going to haunt you. And it's just going to add to all of them years of never quite getting to where you want it to be. So, that's not an option, right? And it's hard, but it's got to be done. It's a choice. And when you're going through something, it's very hard to gain perspective because you're emotional. But that's where emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, your ability to manage them and actually communicate so you're able to gain perspective. Otherwise, you will just bury your head in the sand and live in your own little bubble of excuses. Okay. It's very hard to gain perspective when you're thinking like that. So the second thing to acknowledge is that no one is coming to save you. It's just a harsh reality. Like you've got to accept that when you're going through your challenges, like no one can save you other than yourself. And it's so important, like to sit with these feelings, to kind of yeah, to sit with what you're feeling, why you're feeling, explore it, but then you just got to get on with it, Otherwise, you're just going to fail and accept living, a life that you don't want to live. Living a life of failing your fitness goals, not being that version of yourself that you've always wanted to be, not losing that weight that you've carried for years, labeling yourself as that person. So, the reality is there are consequences either way, whether we take action, whether we don't, whether we get unstuck or we stay stuck. So you've got to make sure that they're good ones. You've got to understand and create awareness around, taking action or not taking action. There are consequences, but no one can save you. The ostrich effect. It's easy to bury your head in the sand and just expect everything to blow over and magically sort itself out in time, but it won't. No one is coming to save you. You have to accept that and sit with the feelings, but then just get on with it because otherwise you'll just stay stuck. And again, that's just going to worsen everything, create a negative experience. So you have two options in these moments, right? When you feel stuck, like Emma did, when 6 to 9 months of little to no progress, one thing after the other. You have two options, okay, in my view. You can either throw the towel in or you can communicate. It's as simple as that. You either throw the towel in because, it's just like, well, it's not working. I can't get a breakthrough. Maybe this isn't for me. I can't lose weight anymore. I can't commit to my goal. Life's too busy. You know what it is. Just all these excuses. You negotiate with yourself and then you just throw the towel in. But the reality is, if you think about it, throwing the towel in does not align with the person that you want to become. So it shouldn't really be an option, but it's a way out. It's an excuse that you can kind of use to just like validate the lack of progress. But the second thing that you can do, which so many adults forget to realize, is you can flip and communicate. You can actually communicate to your support network, to your coach, to your coaching team, to your community, to your friends and family. You can actually be vulnerable, open up, and that's what I'm here for. And even at times, when you feel rubbish, you're in your own head, you feel like, you're isolating yourself, you feel like everyone else is smashing it, you're not like your ability to be vulnerable and communicate is everything because you feel so much lighter. You're able to gain perspective so much like easier. It's just so much easier. But you have to be vulnerable, and it is a superpower because it is hard. But this is where you've got to drop your ego. You've got to be open and honest with yourself, with your support network, with your coaching team, so that you don't throw the towel in. And just by talking about things, it allows you to stop focusing on the problem and start focusing on the solution. I feel like as adults, we focus on the problems that we face so much. We have an issue, right? I don't know, your car breaks down, okay? And obviously, yeah, it's a big thing. And do you need to get it fixed? There's a lot of things that you have to sort, but like focus so much on the problem. Oh my God, my car's broke down. Why now? It's going to cost me money. Why is this happening? Why me? Why today? And it's problem, 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 instead of just thinking, well, what is the solution, right? How can I just overcome this thing that's just happened, this event, this moment in time that soon will have been and gone and all will be okay. Okay. So the problem is the problem, right? The problem is your reality. Like it's just fact. So we have to shift our focus to kind of solving your problem. And that's how we overcome it practically and move past it. Okay. Focus on the solution, not the problem. And this is where like emotional intelligence is so important because, if we were to think like a computer, if it was programmed, with no emotions and we just said computer do this and it did it, no emotions, no thinking, just like these are the key performance indicators, just do them, right? Go, go, go. And that way it's solution based. Okay. And it allows you to control what you can, not what you can't. So yeah, whenever you're going through these moments, like try to shift your focus from the problem to the solution because there are always solutions. And kind of leads me on to this next one. Like personal problems are not fitness problems. Like you have to challenge your narratives because in these moments, you have to remind yourself that, you can do it. You've just got to work through your personal challenge and keep showing up. Because for you to achieve your fitness goal, okay, I would say 90% of the time, you haven't got a fitness problem, it's a personal problem. Okay. It's not that you don't know how to track your calories on MyFitnessPal. It's not that you don't know what foods are high in protein. It's not that you don't know how to hit 10K steps a day. Okay. Don't get me wrong. At times, there's going to be gaps in your knowledge. There's going to be things that you learn, and there are going to be fitness problems. Of course, there is. But like literally 9 times out of 10, when you bring a problem to the table, I guarantee it's a personal problem. Okay. It's something stressing you out in life. It's, a belief issue. It's a personal issue, right? So you just have to acknowledge that like you can do this and you're going to have to work through your personal challenges to be able to overcome them. And you do that by continuing to show up and focusing on solutions because the problems that you face in life, they're your reality. You have to accept it. Your problem might be that life is crazy busy because you've taken on a new job, you've got loads of work, and it's all a bit of a madness. But like that problem is your reality. Stop focusing on it. We know it's a fact, it's set in stone, it is what it is. Let's focus on the solutions. Let's focus on, overcoming these personal challenges because that's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to evolve. And it's not a fitness problem. It's not that I'm hitting my calories, but I'm not losing weight. It's nothing to do with that. It's the overriding kind of underlying impact, okay, the bigger picture. Um, and one of the biggest things that Emma and I did, right, to get her that big breakthrough after a time of just, yeah, really battling with herself and feeling stuck was you've got to stay goal conscious because when you're stuck, when you're in a hole and it feels like a hard place to get out of, you lose consciousness, like consciousness and awareness of your goal. It gets watered down. It doesn't feel as important to you in the moment because you're numbed by stress, fear, and worry and everything else. Okay, so you have to stay goal conscious, and we can do this by setting something inspiring. Okay, I love to talk about audacious goals, and it's for that very reason that when you're going through something so tough, right, and you just feel stuck, the best thing that you can do, like, is to inspire yourself to get up, go for it, and take action, is set something inspiring. This is why we have audacious goals. Like, you have to stretch yourself. Otherwise, you won't break out of your own bubble, and prove to yourself that you can. You'll just, yeah, be in that, stuck in that little bubble, like going around in your head, all these excuses, all these reasons why you can't, and just thinking like the old you. And this is why we have to set something audacious out of your comfort zone that stretches you, that is inspiring, that actually forces you to commit. And it's that inspiration that pulls you out of dark places. Okay, it keeps you goal conscious so you don't get lost in the chaos of life and let your stresses overwhelm you. So, yeah, maybe if there's a period in your journey where you are feeling stuck, maybe it's a case of we just need to get more inspired. We need to create more urgency and excitement around your goal again because of life's stresses and external factors, it's been watered down. You've forgot about the fire in you and everything that you decided you wanted to achieve when you started this journey. So set something inspiring is massively helpful. We did that with Emma. I literally pretty much had to tie her up, hold her at gunpoint and say, do a fitness photo shoot. Trust me, it's what you need. Reluctantly, she said yes, but hey, look, I changed her life, and she always says, "I told you so." You told me so, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But it just helps. It really does help you to get out your own way, overcome the shit that you've got going on for you in life, and move forward. Um, and this is what you have to remember whenever you're going through this period and you're stuck. How do you become unstuck? You have to know that your biggest breakthroughs come after your toughest tests, okay, your biggest adversities. Like, every big breakthrough I've had in my life, fitness, personal, business, anything, right? I literally could give you a million different scenarios. Every single big breakthrough that has literally helped me to level up, that has allowed me to grow, to feel amazing, to get to the next level, to achieve the thing that I wanted, has always come after, you know, a tough period. Like, challenge, times when I just felt like I'm losing hope. What's the point? I can't keep doing this. Progress isn't happening. Something's not working. Like, my biggest breakthroughs and so many clients as well has come from their toughest adversity because your ability to endure these tough times, to keep pushing and just never losing hope, it pays off. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the person like with the pickaxe and they're both like mining for gold. And one of them just decides like, oh, it's just not working. They stop, they turn around, they walk away. They were literally like a couple of pickaxes away from all the gold. Whereas you got the other person who's just slogging away and they get there. It's that whole thing of like just never losing hope, keep pushing. Like, during like tough times won't stop you achieving your goal unless you let it. Okay. And it's so important that you keep pushing, you never lose hope. And you realize that when you're going through it, you have to remind yourself that like the breakthrough's coming. I just have to keep showing up. It's like the 2p analogy. When you go to the seaside, you've got the 2p machines. All right. Imagine like you showing up and taking action and doing the things that you need to do is the 2p's. You put a pound in, you get 52p's. And you're putting the 2p's in the machine. You're putting the 2p's in the machine. All right, that's you showing up, taking action, keeping going, never losing hope. What happens? You've put 22p's in and you can see it building. It's building, but you haven't hit the jackpot, but you can see it's happening. It's just not there yet, but it's happening. You keep showing up, you keep showing up. And then the 40-second 2p that you put in lands, boom, jackpot. They all ka-ching, all the 2p's fall out. You make about 50p, right? But you see the point here. It's like the 2p analogy, like just showing up, keep putting the 2p's in the machine, and it will happen. You will get that breakthrough. So when you're going through hard times, just know on the other side is everything you've ever wanted. So are you willing to embrace the suck? Are you willing to endure tough times and discomfort and really challenge yourself to stay disciplined and see what you're made of? Show that resilience. And if you are willing to do that, you're willing to succeed. Super important to always remember that. Yeah, and like Emma will relate to that. She kept going. She kept showing up, putting the two peas in the machine. It wasn't easy. It was messy. It was chaotic. It was erratic all over the place at times, but she never stopped showing up. She never stopped putting them two peas in the machine. And the fire is in you. Like it doesn't just leave because you go through hard times. All that you want to achieve for yourself in your life, all the great things that you have achieved up until the point that you've got stuck, right? That fire is still in you. It doesn't just leave because you're going through a bit of a tough patch, all right? But you have to understand that like you need to lead yourself through life. You need to realize that that fire will eventually go out if you stop feeding it. So, you know, when you notice your fire dampen, it's your responsibility to stoke it. And that comes from the right daily inputs. Okay. Because if you let your fire dampen out for too long, it will eventually go out. Okay. You lose that spark, you lose that energy, that positivity, that drive, that belief of like, I can do this, I can achieve my goals and become the version of me that I've always wanted to. Okay. We all have a fire. At times it's big, it's raging, it's hot, it's embers are flying off it, it's amazing. Okay. But at times it's gonna feel like there's no fire there. And the fire is dimming down. It's going to go out. But this is where, again, your ability to push through these hard times, keep stoking that fire daily and fueling that fire with showing up. With giving it your best shot, with focusing on the solutions, not the problems, with controlling what you can, letting go of what you can't, gaining perspective, seeing the bigger picture. All these things stoke that fire. And the best thing you can do is set something inspiring that forces you to commit and pulls you out of that dark place. And the final slide that I want to finish on here is the get unstuck checklist. So whenever you feel stuck and you just like there's no way out, just follow these steps. And honestly, you'll gain so much more clarity. You'll feel better and you'll be able to pull yourself out of that stuck place so much quicker. So the first thing is sit with your situation. When you feel stuck, just sit with it. Feel the emotions of it, right? There's no point avoiding these things. You have to accept reality. If you push it under the carpet, it's not going to do anybody under anyone. It's not going to do, can't even get my words out. It's not going to do anyone any favors. Okay. You've got to identify the issues. Okay. So once you've sat with it and you've acknowledged that your reality is not what you want it to be, identify what them issues are. All right. And then communicate. So identify what the issues are that are holding you back. Write them down. Think about them. All right. It literally take you a couple of minutes, but it helps so much. For me, pen to paper on a journal. Like, what are the issues? Why are you feeling stuck? Why do you feel like you're not making progress? And then communicate it. Let me know, let the team know, let the community know. Like, communicate it. Otherwise, you're just going to bottle it in and it's just going to eat away at you. Okay. And it's going to take over and overrun your mindset and leak into all that you do. And then the best thing that you can do is write a list. Write down what you can control and what you can't control. Write a massive list. The things that you can't control, cross them off. Okay, so you can see them and you can go, yeah, I can't control them. And actually, the art of crossing them off on a paper helps. Um, and then the things that you can control, let's create solutions around them. Obviously, we can do this together. You can do it yourself, but like when you know what you can control and you go, right, well, I can control going to the gym in the morning. All right, I might be a bit tired, but like I can control it. Okay, cool. So what's the solution? All right, give yourself solutions. Don't keep going around in circles around the problem. I'm tired. I can't get up in the morning. I can't go to the gym. I'm stressed at work. Like, stop focusing on the problems, focus on the solution. Okay, gain perspective, see past your issues and focus on that bigger picture. So when you know what the solutions are, then think about, okay, and in implementing these solutions, that's going to help me to achieve my long-term goal. It's going to help me to overcome the shit that I'm feeling. Like I want that for myself. I want to like I know what I'm moving towards and that's powerful and that's going to give me so much. So yeah, it helps you to gain perspective and then set something audacious. Okay. Make sure that your goal is inspiring. Like once you've got the solutions, you've understood the long-term goal, the bigger picture, you feel reconnected, you feel that fire starting to burn again. That's when you've got to set something inspiring. Get out your comfort zone and stretch yourself. Okay. Fuck about and find out. Okay. If you don't fuck about, you won't find out. And it's so important to get into that mindset because it will just allow you to push, grow, get out your comfort zone and just fail forward. Okay. Fail forward, fail fast, get after it. And the final thing is get accountable. Like this makes all the difference. And I see this time and time again. Okay. Clients that are going through tough periods, we set up what we call a coaching container with myself, with Adam, Rianne. We get them into a group. We get them to talk about their challenges, their goals, share what they want to achieve, and send us daily pictures of everything they can. Training, nutrition, challenges, insights, what they've got coming up, and just sometimes having more eyeballs on what you're doing, getting accountable. it makes all the difference. Like when you set a goal in Phase Lean and we get you to share it with your friends, your family, share it in the community group, like it helps. So get accountable, share with me, share with the team, share in the community group, share with friends. Okay, one of our recent clients has shared with her work friends her audacious goal, and she sent me a screenshot of like what was they were saying in the WhatsApp group, and they were like, "Oh, that's amazing! Like all the best, we'll support you." Like, fucking love it. Like, share your goals, share it online, just go for it because it's kind of it helps you to be solution focused without really even realizing it. It kind of distracts you from the problems that you're facing and in life and the challenges, and it gives you something positive to focus on. It gets you out of bed every morning, and it will help you work through your challenges because they won't just disappear. You have to have the courage to work through them, and it'll help you to move past it and enjoy your best days. So, team, that is this training. How to get unstuck. I hope you found that useful. If you're watching this on the recording, of course, any questions, please, yeah, please fire away. But I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, any questions from anyone on the live? I'll give you 30 seconds to jump in if not. I think we're all good. Amazing. Well, look, I hope you all found that useful. Any questions after, just let me know. But yeah, massive well done, and I hope it was a good one.
Thanks, Ben. Bye.
Cheers.